Every panel hides a story. Every hero fights a destiny. Welcome to Zero Manhwa Recap, the ultimate world of manhwa recaps. From epic battles to emotional tales, we bring your favorite series to life. So before the adventure begins, like, subscribe, and join our growing clan of manhwa fans. 5,000 years ago, during the Age of Despair, humanity was pushed to the very brink of extinction. To save the world from total collapse, the legendary four great heroes faced the absolute darkness, known only as Erebos, the genesis of evil. You know the legends. There was the beautiful elven archmage, Luna, the poet of the stars. Next, the unbreakable dwarven master-smith, Dueno, the divine blacksmith. We had the roaring, indomitable beastman warrior, Aaron, the brave. And of course, the most powerful of them all, the dragon, Lysinas, the wise king. But beyond those four, there was one more, the true savior whose name was erased from history, Kyle, the hero of the beginning. We arrive at the climax of that endless war, Erebos cornered, but the heroes gravely wounded. Kyle, bleeding and desperate, shouted, "Don't talk! Take my dragon heart, and keep pushing forward. I'm going to save you, so shut up." Lysinas, already corrupted by the shadows, refused. He simply replied, "No, it's too late for me. I can't focus on my heal spell, so stop talking." Kyle begged him, "Kyle, remember when we first met? We will save the world. You stupid lizard." ***. Lysinas accepted his final fate. "I'm sorry for leaving it all up to you, Lysinas, Aaron, Dueno, Luna. Thank you for being with me, no matter what. ***. But Kyle, driven by a primal force, made his final, terrifying vow. "Even if my body burns to ashes, and no matter what it takes, I will consume your soul." Erebos. A deafening sound effect, the kaboom, echoes as the imagery shifts to a storybook page. And so, on the night where the skies echoed with that great kaboom, history was written. The official version says, "Thanks to the wise king Lysinas' sacrifice, they drove away Erebos, the genesis of evil." The end. The scene shifts to a modern nursery. A baby cries, a mother speaks. 5,000 years later, the truth is a bedtime story. Listen to this exchange. A mother tells the other, "Wah, Reina, haven't you already read him that storybook over 100 times? And the baby's caretaker responds, "But Leo loves this book the most. Wanna see? Leo dear, I'll read you the heroes of the beginning again. Long, long ago, before even the olden times, or more specifically 5,000 years ago." ***. The camera focuses on the baby, but his inner voice is raging. That tiny, adorable baby is our reincarnated hero, Kyle, now Leoplav, 15. And this is what he's thinking. Goo goo. See, he loves it. A boo-boo. Stop reading that damn book. Does this look like I'm enjoying it to you? Once again, what happened 5,000 years ago was, I defeated Erebos. So why am I the only one who has been written out of history? His entire new life is driven by this single burning injustice. We see a magnificent mansion named Daleen Royal School. Inside, a teacher is conducting a class. Everyone is paying close attention. Then he begins his lecture, saying, "This is the age of heroes. 5,000 years have passed since the hero records first appeared in our world. During this time, Babylon has undergone countless transformations." He continues, saying that this year, their school has been selected as the location for the looming entrance exam. The teacher proudly tells his students that he believes in them and that they will definitely pass the exam. But suddenly, he hears someone snoring in the middle of class. Annoyed, he says, "You must pay close attention to your lessons." We then see a white-haired boy sleeping at the back of the classroom. The teacher looks at him and says, "Student Leo, if you already know this topic, how about I ask you a question?" He asks, "What ritual did one have to perform 5,000 years ago to be called a hero?" Leo, the reincarnated hero, opens his eyes lazily. The teacher adds, If you made a name for yourself back then, you automatically became a reincarnated hero. We learn that this white-haired boy's name is Leo Plav, from the Plav family, a reincarnated hero himself. The teacher, holding his head in frustration, sighs and asks if anyone else knows the answer. Then, a red-haired boy raises his hand confidently and explains. In ancient times, there were no ways to gain recognition from the gods. There was only one method, through a sacred ritual where heroes were chosen. A prime example is the blood ritual. The teacher praises him and reveals his identity, Gulliver Threadden, the greatest magic genius of the AR kingdom, and a student from the prestigious Threadden family. He turns back to Leo and says, "I'm looking forward to this year's Lumine entrance exam." But Leo seems lost in thought. He remembers the old days and thinks, back then, meeting gods was so simple, that secret ritual, to honor the great heroes who stood against Erebus. The gods bestowed a miracle upon the mortal world, the hero records. He closes his book and wonders, but why am I the only one being treated like I don't exist? Just then, students rush to the window and shout, "Look, it's the Zardinger family flag." A luxurious carriage arrives. Out steps a tall, suited man, followed by a beautiful girl in a school uniform, and behind them a line of soldiers. The school alarm rings. All students are required to gather in the auditorium immediately. Members of the Zardinger family are visiting our school. The red-haired genius smirks and says to Leo, "Planning to impress the Zardinger family? Do you seriously think they'll notice you?" But Leo calmly replies, "I'm going home." As he walks away, he adds, "Unlike you, I have no interest in fawning over nobles." The red-haired boy, now embarrassed and angry, mutters, "I don't care either. I just want to size up Celia Zardinger as a potential rival." Leo walks away, thinking, "At least I haven't been neglecting my physical training. This body is far better than the one I had in my past life." Suddenly, his mother appears, catching him off guard. "What's got you so deep in thought?" she teases. They both draw their swords. She challenges him to a duel. "It's been a while since we had a swordsmanship match, hasn't it? If you're serious about Lumine, you can't afford mediocrity. This will be your final test." Leo's mother, Rihanna Plav, launches a flurry of attacks. Leo defends swiftly, his sword flashing through the air. "Don't you think this is a bit much, mother?" Leo asks. She smiles proudly. "What are you talking about? You're blocking all my strikes effortlessly." But suddenly, she realizes she's using too much force and worries she might hurt him. Leo quickly counters and disarms her. "Are you all right, mother?" he asks. She stares at him in astonishment. The depth of this child's talent, unbelievable, she thinks to herself. Then she asks, "Leo, do you still intend to go to Lumine?" The Lumine Academy, also known as the Human Hero Academy, is the most prestigious of all academies among the four races. Leo answers confidently, "Of course." His mother nods. The Zardinger family is visiting Daleen, and they've decided to stay at our estate. Leo is surprised. "The Zardinger family? At our house?" His mother smirks and says, "Even though I don't care much, I'll ask the deputy Jas Zardinger to let you inherit the Zardingers' aura technique. By next year, you'll be ready for Lumine." Leo thinks to himself, "The Zardinger aura technique? But I plan to enroll this year, not next year." Scene shifts. We're now at the front gates of Leo's estate. Celia Zardinger steps out of her carriage, irritated. "Why would Uncle send me to a place like this? He could have just rented out an entire hotel." We're told she's from the sword mansion of the Zardinger family. She thinks, "I need to focus solely on the Lumine entrance exam. Why stay with such an insignificant family?" Deputy Master Jas Zardinger walks beside her and says, "Aren't you curious about Leo, the boy who claims to have no interest in the Zardinger family?" Celia scoffs. "An aspiring knight who can't even handle aura? I'm sure he'll continue to be insignificant." Jas smiles lightly. "Well, I see things a little differently." They enter the mansion, where Leo's mother greets them warmly. "It's an honor to meet you, Lady Plav," says Jas politely. We learn more about Leo's family. his mother Rihanna Plav, mistress of the Plav family, and his father David Plav, master of the household. JIS turns to Celia. Introduce yourself. Celia bows slightly and says, I'm Celia Zardinger. I'll be in your care for the next week. Rihanna smiles. Nice to meet you, Celia. Celia looks at her closely, thinking, she looks just like my father and uncle. Black hair, red eyes. Could she be Rihanna Plav? JIS confirms with a chuckle. Yes, she's your aunt. He then tells Rihanna, I visited Daleen Royal School earlier. It was crowded, all the students had gathered. Your son, Leo, left early, claiming he wasn't interested in meeting us. Rihanna sighs. The great Zardinger family visiting our school. If you were offended, I apologize on behalf of my son. He's not interested in anything except training. JIS nods and asks, what kind of child is Leo? Rihanna proudly answers, he has incredible talent. JIS smirks. Do you truly believe Leo is worthy of inheriting the flame of Zardinger? Rihanna replies firmly, not just because he's my son, but because he truly deserves it. JIS crosses his arms and says, if you're so confident in his abilities, then I must admit, I'm intrigued. However, I'll need to test the boy's strength myself. Then the scene shifts to Leo, sitting calmly, deep in meditation. Suddenly, his hand bracelets begin to glow with a bright blue light. He opens his eyes and whispers, at last, the vessels that will contain everything are complete. Leo reflects to himself, the reason I haven't mastered aura until now is because the moment I accept it, my body will naturally specialize in it. And then, the opportunity to accumulate magic and spiritual power will vanish. He pauses, thinking back. In my past life, if only I had mastered their power and essence more perfectly, perhaps I wouldn't have sown the seed of disaster. But this time I will master it perfectly. This time, I won't repeat my mistakes. As Leo continues meditating, a voice calls out from behind. It's a girl, Celia. She asks curiously, are you Leo? Leo turns his head questioningly, and there she stands, Celia Zardinger, also known to the world as the Sword Maiden. Celia smiles and says, your fundamentals seem solid. How about I give you some special sportsmanship training? She thinks to herself, maybe I can score some points with my aunt in the process. Leo stands up, amused. Really? I appreciate the offer, he says with a calm smile. But I'm not interested in being trained by someone less skilled than me. Celia is shocked. Are you saying you're stronger than me? Leo replies, well, in a life or death battle, you'd probably win since I don't know how to use aura. But in a pure sportsmanship duel, it's a different story. Angered, Celia turns away, picks up a sword, and says, if you're that confident in your skills, then let's have a duel. She thinks, he really believes that mastering aura alone will make him stronger than me? I'll show him the harsh reality. Celia adds, if I win, you'll serve as my servant for a week. Leo smirks and asks, and if I win? Celia hesitates, then says, then I'll be your maid. A serious aura fills the air. Leo picks up a sword and nods. So, shall we start right away? The duel begins. Leo moves first. His strike is fast, so fast that Celia can barely react. She's stunned. His speed, it's incredible. But she reminds herself, speed alone isn't enough to win. Leo charges again, this time with even more power. He slams his sword into the ground, shattering it, then rushes toward her like a storm. Celia gasps, I can't block this. Just before Leo's sword can hit her, he notices something, aura armor forming around Celia. What's this? Wasn't this supposed to be a pure swordsmanship duel? He asks. Celia grins. Instinctual. Well, it doesn't matter. I'll win anyway. Leo narrows his eyes. The gap between wielding aura and not is like heaven and earth. Want to test that? Then, Leo removes his glowing bracelet. Celia's eyes widen. A weak magic bracelet? That's impossible. Leo smirks, channels his full power, and charges. With one devastating strike, he shatters Celia's aura shield completely. The impact sends her flying. As she loses consciousness, her final thought echoes. This crazy fool. Unbelievable. The scene shifts to the Zardinger estate. Jeff Zardinger and Leo's mother are sitting together when she calls out, "Leo, come and greet our guest." Leo enters, bows slightly, and says, "My name is Leo Clough." Jeff nods. "Ah, I see. As you might already know, I'm your uncle." Leo's mother smiles. "By the way, Leo, have you met Celia?" Leo glances behind and says, "She's over there." Everyone turns. Celia is being carried away on a stretcher, unconscious. Two guards rush beside her, shouting, "Young lady, quickly! Someone help the young lady." Jeff looks stunned. What happened? A guard explains everything, the duel, the defeat, and how Celia was knocked out. Jeff falls silent for a moment. Did he defeat Celia without even mastering aura? He walks toward Leo and says, "Beating Celia, that's impressive." Leo shrugs. "Well, that's because she underestimated me." Jeff asks, "And what was the agreement between you two?" Leo replies casually, "The loser agreed to become the winner's servant. So, Celia Zardinger is my maid for a week." Jeff laughs, but his tone shifts serious. "Agreements are important, yes, but Celia belongs to the Zardinger family. We can't have her doing maid work. I think you should reconsider. Instead, I'll offer you another reward, perhaps." Leo cuts him off. "I refuse." Jeff blinks. "What?" Leo says firmly, "This was a promise between Celia and me. Since she carries the Zardinger name, she must also bear the responsibility." Jeff folds his arms. "Even if I teach you the family's aura technique?" Leo replies coldly, "Offering your aura technique just to cover up your niece's mistake? Not worth it." Jeff's expression hardens. "Leo Clough, did you just declare that our family's techniques are worthless and treat a Zardinger descendant as your maid?" Leo stands tall. "Yes." Jeff's serious face relaxes. He smirks slightly. "Don't you think that statement is a bit reckless?" Leo answers calmly, "I don't intend to insult the Zardinger family. If Lord Jeff had granted the aura technique as a reward for defeating Celia, I would have accepted it. But since you offered it to cover up her mistake, that means you believe she only lost because she wasn't serious. I disagree. Even if she had gone all out, I still would have won." Jeff thinks silently. He rejected my offer not out of pride, but because of conviction. What an incredible character. If only this child were a Zardinger. Finally, Jeff says, "Send Celia to the maid quarters." The guards are shocked. "What?" Jeff turns to Leo. "Leo." Leo replies, "Yes, Lord Jeff." Jeff smiles faintly. "In private, you may call me Uncle." Leo nods. "Yes, Uncle." As Leo leaves, Jeff turns to Leo's mother. "Sister, you asked me to teach him our family's aura technique, didn't you?" She looks surprised. "Huh." Jeff smiles. "I'll try to convince my brother to let Leo learn the phoenix breath." The next morning, the scene shifts to Leo's bedroom. Celia stands by the door, blushing furiously, dressed in a maid's outfit. She bows slightly and says, "I am Celia, and I will be serving as young Master Leo's maid for a week." Her face is red, her voice trembling, and Leo just smiles knowingly. The scene opens with Leo gazing at Celia's enemy's attire. He smirks slightly and says, "It suits you well, doesn't it? That simple maid outfit, paired with your elegant beauty. Such a combination is." But before he can finish, Celia cuts him off. With a teasing look, she replies, "I know I'm attractive, but being ogled like this feels a bit excessive." Leo immediately bows his head, embarrassed. "My apologies. I didn't mean to offend you," he says. Then Leo chuckles softly. "I once had a friend who loved praising beauty excessively. It seems I've picked up their habits without realizing it." He lets out a deep sigh as old memories flood back. His eyes drift into the distance as he recalls his past life. Eternal beauty. That's always been the best. When peace finally returns to the world, I plan to dedicate my life to sharing beauty with others. Celia looks at him curiously and says, if they truly admired beauty that deeply, then they sound like a wonderful friend. Leo smiles faintly, his tone lowering. The problem was, they were too sincere, eccentric, yet as beautiful as anyone. Lazinus and Luna. His voice fades into a whisper. For the sake of art, be my nude models. And just like that, we see the scene from his past, Luna and Lausanne both glaring at him. Moments later, both women begin beating him mercilessly, while Kyle and the wolf hero laugh in the background. After the light-hearted memory fades, the scene shifts back to the present. Celia, watching Leo read quietly, narrows her eyes. She thinks to herself, is that book some kind of special training manual? She walks closer and asks, Leo, what are you reading? Leo lifts his gaze slightly, his expression calm. This? It's something I used to read a lot when I was younger. Hero of Beginning. Celia tilts her head in confusion. What? A children's book? She says, sounding both surprised and suspicious. Leo simply smiles, continuing to turn the pages. Celia crosses her arms and says, it seems you have a deep admiration for the great hero of the beginning. It's rare to meet someone who knows as much as you do. Her tone softens. I've collected plenty of books about them over the years. But strangely, most of them seem to focus on Kyle. She pauses. Among the great hero's achievements, there are still so many whose origins are uncertain. Leo closes the book and replies quietly, I believe many of them were actually his. Celia blinks. Huh? Are you saying people from later generations tried to claim the deeds of the real heroes? Leo nods slightly. Kyle? He mutters, as if recalling a distant name. Celia sighs. That's what most people think. And honestly, I agree. Leo smirks faintly. So, you thought of me that way too? Huh. Celia blinks, not quite catching what he meant. Leo stands, brushing the dust off his clothes. Anyway, shall we start training after breakfast? Celia straightens up immediately. Young master, if you permit, may I join the training? She thinks to herself, this is my chance to uncover the secret of his strength. But Leo reads her intentions instantly and replies with a teasing tone. It might be hard to keep up. Are you sure you're ready for this? Celia's pride flares up. I am Celia Dingal, she declares, determination blazing in her eyes. The scene shifts to the training grounds. Celia is panting heavily, her body trembling with exhaustion. Sweat drips down her forehead as she swings her sword again and again, each motion slower than the last. Kyle watches from a distance, his voice calm yet sharp. When your stamina runs out, your reactions slow. Your movements falter, and then you leave yourself wide open like this. With lightning speed, he flicks his wooden sword, striking Celia's side. She stumbles back, gasping in pain. Pushing the body to its limit, is this what you call training? She pants. Leo, watching nearby, sighs and mutters, yeah, kids these days are too weak. In his mind, he reflects, with the development of modern aura cultivation, people have forgotten the basics of physical strength. But aura is the power that maximizes the body's true potential. Celia frowns. What? Are you saying I'm weak? Leo smirks slightly. Strengthening the body also strengthens the aura. Celia tightens her grip on the wooden sword. Her hands tremble, but her pride doesn't falter. Don't underestimate me, you white-haired. Before she can even finish her words, she dashes toward Leo, shouting fiercely. But with one effortless swing of his sword, Leo knocks her flying backward. Celia groans in pain, sitting on the ground. Why can't I win? Leo looks down at her, offering a hand. It's tough, isn't it? Here, take this. She looks at the bracelet he hands her, confused. The moment she grabs it, she nearly falls to her knees. Wah! It's so heavy. Leo chuckles darkly. That's a bracelet enhanced with weight magic. Starting tomorrow, You'll wear it during training. A mischievous grin spreads across his face as Celia glares at him in disbelief. The next morning arrives. Celia stands ready for another round, determination burning brighter than ever. Behind her, GS observes quietly, thinking to himself, this will be a valuable experience for her. It's okay to have your pride crushed first, before stepping into Lumine Academy. Then GS calls out, Leo. Leo turns to him respectfully. Uncle GS. GS crosses his arms. I'm planning to ask the head of the family to allow Celia to inherit the phoenix breathing technique. Leo's eyes widen in shock. The phoenix breathing? That's the origin of our entire Zardigar family's aura cultivation technique. Only those acknowledged by the family are allowed to learn it. Celia looks equally stunned. Father won't agree so easily. GS nods. That's why there's a condition. A condition? Celia asks cautiously. GS smiles. You must pass the Lumine Academy entrance exam this year. Celia's eyes widen in disbelief. The Lumine entrance exam? That's not something to be taken lightly. For someone who can't even use aura yet, it's too dangerous. But Leo just grins confidently. As for practical experience, I don't have any. At least not in this life. GS chuckles softly. What do you think, Leo? Leo replies firmly. Father and mother said they would respect my decision. Then, I will take the test. GS smiles approvingly. So you're planning to take the Lumine entrance exam after all. Leo nods, his eyes filled with resolve. All right then, let's continue training. Our short break is over. Celia smirks, refusing to back down. As if I'd ever fall behind. The scene fades, and a week passes. A week passes swiftly. The sun rises over a vast stone courtyard filled with hundreds of young aspirants, each one a hopeful candidate for the prestigious Lumine Academy. The crowd buzzes with excitement and tension. Whispers echo among the students. Isn't that Celia Dingal, the sword maiden herself, here in person? And who's that boy beside her? Celia glances at Leo and asks calmly, Are you nervous, young master? Leo smiles faintly. Not at all. Then he adds teasingly, By the way, shouldn't you change how you address me in public? Celia freezes. Oh no, I forgot. Before she can say more, a confident voice interrupts them. A young man with blazing red hair approaches. His aura practically radiates arrogance. Miss Celia, he calls out. She turns and recognizes him instantly. It's Isaiah Leopold, the red-haired genius of Deland's greatest magic academy. He smirks. Miss Celia, it's good to see you again. How have you been? But Celia and Leo completely ignore him, walking past without a word. Isaiah stands there frozen, his smile twitching. All right then, suit yourself. Just then, another voice shouts from across the courtyard. Celia! Celia! Both Leo and Celia turn around. A pair of siblings approach, a tall boy and a younger girl, both radiating noble energy. The boy introduces himself proudly. Abad Llewellyn, 16 years old. Beside him stands his sister, Chelsea Llewellyn, 14. Celia whispers to Leo, They're from the Llewellyn family, a renowned hero bloodline from the Rodent Empire, children of the Lilwain family. She clenches her fists. They're also taking the exam this time. You absolutely cannot lose, Leo. Leo shrugs lazily. I'm from the Plow family, though. Abad steps forward with a smirk. Long time no see, Celia. Celia forces a polite smile. Yes, it's been a while, Abad Llewellyn. He looks at Leo dismissively. And who's this beside you? This is Leo Plow from the kingdom of Delron. Celia replies calmly. Abad's eyes narrow. A small fry, huh? He locks eyes with Leo. The air between them grows heavy. Then, with a cold smirk, Abad says as he walks away, It seems the top spot is destined to be mine. Let's go, Chelsea. Yes, brother. Chelsea answers confidently. Celia grits her teeth watching them leave. Arrogant bastards. I'll definitely crush them. Moments later, the exam conductor steps onto the stage. a man with bright yellow hair and round spectacles. His presence alone silences the crowd. "It seems everyone has gathered," he says calmly. Celia and Leo glance up at him. "My name is Albi Ziron, professor at Lumine Academy," he announces. Celia's eyes widen. "No way, Albi, the sorcerer with the evil eye." Leo frowns. "The what?" Celia whispers. "He's a registered hero, a living legend of this era." Leo studies him carefully. In Albi's left eye, a faint sigil glows ominously. "That mark, there's no mistake," Leo thinks. Albi speaks again, his tone powerful yet calm. "The exam will consist of 2 challenges, individual combat and monster subjugation. However," he tears the paper he was holding, letting it burn in his hand. "I find such methods inefficient." With a flick of his wrist, he pulls out a blue book from his coat. A mysterious, glowing panel appears in the air. "Hero record open." The words echo through the hall. A magic circle lights up beneath everyone's feet. Albi raises his hand toward the book. "Since I detest wasting time, let us begin everything at once." The entire world begins to distort. Leo's mind flashes back to a lecture from his school days. The hero record isn't just a historical archive. Its true value lies in recreating the world of past heroes. Those who conquer it can inherit their powers. "So this is it," Leo mutters. "A real hero training system." The next moment, the students are engulfed in light and transported inside the hero's world. The light fades. When the students open their eyes, they find themselves standing inside a dense, mist-covered forest. The air is thick with mana and danger. Whispers ripple through the crowd. "So this is the hero's world?" It feels too real. A voice echoes above them, the system itself. "Ahead lies the forest of monsters. Your goal is simple: survive. You may cooperate with others or eliminate them as you see fit." Then the voice adds coldly, "If you wish to withdraw, breathe the orb in your possession." And with that, the trial begins. The ground trembles. Strange cries echo from the darkness. One terrified student screams, "What is that sound? I want to go back." Another laughs nervously, "It's just an illusion. Don't be scared." But Leo's eyes narrow. "No, that's wrong. Even though this world was created from Albi's memories, everything that happens here is real. If you die here, you die for real." Suddenly, a flash of green light streaks toward him. Leo dodges instinctively. An arrow whizzes past his face, grazing his cheek. He turns sharply, his eyes locking onto the attacker. A figure steps out from the shadows. A girl with flowing green hair and sharp eyes. She smirks. "We've met before, haven't we, Leo Plow?" Leo frowns. "You're Chelsea Llewellyn." She draws her bow again, her aura swirling around her like wind. "I'm glad I got the chance to bring down Celia's little protege." Leo raises a hand, trying to reason with her. "You're mistaken. I'm not from the—" But Chelsea cuts him off, anger flashing in her eyes. "You were with her just moments ago." Wind gathers at her feet, spinning faster and faster until it forms a violent cyclone. "Let's see how long you can last," Leo mutters under his breath. "That spell, it didn't exist in the past, but the structure is still the same." Chelsea laughs. "You seem awfully calm with me right in front of you." Leo grips his sword tightly. The air shifts. Chelsea swings her sickle through the air, hurling it toward him with deadly speed. But in one swift motion, Leo parries it with a clean strike. The weapon embeds itself deep into the ground beside him. Chelsea's eyes widen. He blocked it? But he didn't even use aura. Is this refined aura? Concealed strength? She thinks in disbelief. Leo speaks calmly. "Such a simple trick. Why don't we cooperate instead? The longer you survive, the higher your score as a wizard. Wouldn't you need a swordsman to watch your back?" Chelsea scoffs. "Ha! Unfortunately for you, I'm a battle magician. A wizard who fights on the front lines. And you called my attack simple? Let's see you handle this." She chants rapidly, "Wind sickle! Wind arrows!" The air erupts. Dozens of wind blades and arrows fly toward Leo at blinding speed. But when the dust settles, Leo is gone. Chelsea gasps. Where did he go? I can't sense his mana." Then, a fist appears out of nowhere, stopping inches from her face. Leo's calm voice echoes, "Shall I politely ask for your cooperation now?" Chelsea stumbles back, her weapon flying from her hand. Ugh! The scene cuts to the observation chamber, where professors and nobles watch the test unfold through glowing panels. "Wow! It's finally starting," one of them shouts. A massive screen lights up, displaying the students' battles one by one. Then, the view focuses on Leo. He's sitting in front of a campfire deep within the forest. Chelsea is tied up beside him, ropes wrapped tightly around her arms. She glares at him furiously, but Leo just smiles. The firelight flickers across his face, revealing an almost mischievous grin. Her pupils shrink in shock, that look in his eyes, cold yet calm. Then the scene shifts to nighttime. Leo was in front of the fire, and in front of him, Chelsea was tied to a wooden log. She woke from the fire's heat and shouted, "What is this?" When Leo replied, "Will you cooperate with me or not?" Chelsea said, "I'll never. I don't need anyone else besides my brother." Then she used her spell, Windsickle. Her hands glowed red, forming a Veda formation. But after that, she realized that her spells were not working. Leo said, "It's a magic ceiling formation." Chelsea thought, "My magic power is almost depleted. I can't hold out for long." Then she replied to Leo, "Do you think this can hold me? I'll break free in no time." When Leo said, "Do you really think I'll give you the chance?" he let the fire surround her. She desperately shouted, "Wait! Stop! It's hot!" Then she started shouting, "I will cooperate." Leo said, "Swear it on your family's name." Chelsea said, "I'll do it. I swear on the name of Llewellyn. I'll cooperate. Please, stop already." Then Leo thought, it's easy because she's just a child. When Leo removed the robe, he said, "Looking forward to working together with you, Mage of Llewellyn." Then Leo caught Chelsea in his arms. Then the scene shifted to the exam hall. Everyone was watching the exam on their screens. Then the exam conductor, Albi, thought they're all low-level. Opting for competition instead of survival is utterly foolish. Only 2 students seemed to understand the true essence of this exam. Celia Zadinger and Abad Llewellyn. The future of the Empire looks bright with them. Then his gaze shifted to Leo's screen. He thought, Leoplov, that's his name, right? His behavior by the campfire earlier was quite bizarre, but he managed to get Chelsea Llewellyn to cooperate. That's a passing mark. He lacks the overwhelming strength of Celia or Abad, but he's more like an unexpected dark horse. We see Leo and Chelsea fighting a huge ogre. With their combined efforts, they took the ogre down easily. Chelsea said, "It's comfortable being with a knight." Then she asked, "Just one question. What is the nature of the aura you're using now? I haven't sensed any magic from you this entire time." Leo said, "I don't know how to use aura." Chelsea, shocked, said, "What? How can you do all that without using aura?" Then Leo replied, "Because understanding the essence of something is more important than brute force. The same principle applies to wind magic. What do you think is the true essence of wind magic?" After hearing Leo's words, Chelsea's eyes shone with a moon pattern. Then she used her spell, Windbreak. She killed a goblin that was spying on them. She said, "How bold of you to lecture a Llewellyn about wind magic, Zandy. Your power is impressive, but that's not how wind magic should be used." Then Chelsea got angered. She said, "You really?" Then Leo cut her sentence in half and said, "Wait, stop." He picked up some dirt from the ground. Chelsea said, "That looks like a mummy." Leo said, "I've never seen a monster eat like this before." Suddenly, Leo realized, I get it now. The true condition of passing this exam is... But suddenly, a huge attack hit the place where Leo and Chelsea were standing. Leo suddenly dodged with Chelsea. Then the attacker's voice sounded, What a shame. We should have taken out Chelsea Llewellyn first. They were 2 students of the exam. One of them said, without Chelsea Llewellyn, her companion is worthless. Then we see the student's face. He was the red-haired boy, Leo's genius classmate. He said, all right, let's attack together. Then they both rushed at Chelsea and Leo, but Leo's eyes shone with a red light. With a single punch, he knocked out one of them. Then we see there were more than 2 people, 3 more came from behind. Ben Leo, please support me, Chelsea. Chelsea's eyes shone, a little blush behind her eyes, and her hair started bumping. She said, yes. Then the red-haired boy ordered his friends. What are you doing? Attack quickly. Chelsea and Leo got ready. Leo with a sword, Chelsea with her spell. When Leo's eyes shone like the sword god, the scene shifted to the red-haired boy running. He thought, I refuse to lose like this. I just need to find another group. Then Celia saw him running. She thought, that guy. Then she said to Abad, let's head this way. When they reached the direction where the red-haired boy was running, they saw Chelsea and Leo. Seeing her brother, Abad said, Chelsea, you are safe. Celia said to Leo, how did you end up together? Leo flicked his hair and said, I proposed cooperation. Celia's head was shocked. That stubborn girl? No way she agreed to that. Leo's head had an evil smile. It took some convincing. Then Celia asked questioningly, what have you done now? Leo found a starving person, took his hand on the shoulder and said, all right then. Chelsea asked, why are you helping them? Leo said, because there's no reason to compete any further. The students who attacked Chelsea and Leo were slowly getting up. Some of them helped each other. Then Leo said, we will conquer the world together. The forest of monsters was experiencing a strange phenomenon. Did you see those corpses over there? Someone said. It's as if all the moisture has been drained out of them. That's not the only thing, Leo said. Doesn't it feel like there are too few monsters around? Celia said, come to think of it, it's like they're scared of something. A high level must have shown up here to scare them. Abad said, so that's it. Examiner Albi's first great achievement was subjugating such a creature. Then Leo's eyes widened with a face of terror. He sensed a dangerous aura locking onto him and his partner. All of their faces changed. Leo said, it seems it has appeared. Then we see the red-haired boy using a shining torch-like weapon, saying, somehow, Leo, I'll be the one to take you down. He walked through the darkness when he saw someone lying on the ground. He got scared and whispered, what is this? He noticed saliva draping from the rod-like torch. His eyes were filled with panic as he saw a dangerous spider above him, its 6 red eyes glowing. Then the scene shifts to the exam hall. Albi watched all the students from the screens. The eliminated students were gathering in the hall. Some of them were talking to each other. I think I took down about 15 or 16 of them, one said. I managed about the same, another replied. Then Albi said, roughly 500 of you have been eliminated. I'd say you've all failed. Another professor beside him said, but Professor Albi, we need to pass at least 100. Albi said, only about 50 are still in the test run. If they don't meet the standards, I'll eliminate them all. Principal Kalina knew this when he asked to be an examiner. He thought, a true hero's mantle is revealed in a crisis. He was watching Leo on his screen and thought, Leopold seems to have noticed the anomaly in the forest. He's helping all the students. Then Albi thought, but can he overcome it? The scene shifts. Everyone is running. 2 students behind them said, it's pitch black. Then a sound from ahead was heard. Celia noticed and said, something's ahead. Everyone, get ready. After Celia took out her sword and used a little mana to make the surroundings glow, she saw the red-haired student in the mouth of the spider. She exclaimed, what is that? Abad said, the rear is the main body. Then Abad started casting his spell Wind P. But Leo stopped him. Leo, get it together. Gulliver, break the oven, he said to the red-haired student in the spider's mouth. The student said, oh, Leo, Then Leo broke the stone and the student was deleted from the mini-world. After that, Abad started using his spell again. He said, "Wind P." Many wind particles started hitting the spider. Dazzling green light lit all around the spider. Many wounds opened on the spider's skin. Leo said, "This won't be enough to stop it." Then the spider got angry. Leo thought, as I suspected, it's the spider queen Talatunia. Another student from behind said, "Damn it, take this," and attacked the spider with his axe. But the spider knocked him away with a single strike. Then Celia said, "I'll finish it in one shot." She started gathering all her mana at the tip of her sword. The sword tip shone with a red ball of light, and she shouted, "Prominence!" The attack hit the spider's head, opening a huge hole, but the wounds healed effortlessly. Celia thought, "Unbelievable. The destructive power of this spider is worlds apart." Then Abad used his spell, gathering greenish wind aura in front of him, and launched it toward the spider. The attack hit the spider directly, but it was unexpectedly undamaged. The spider lunged at Abad. Chelsea shouted, "Brother!" and used Windbreak to disrupt the spider's attack. She ran to her brother and asked, "Are you okay?" Abad said, "Thanks, Chelsea. What on earth is that monster?" A student exclaimed, "It recovered instantly." Leo said, "It's Erebus' army, which ravaged the elven forest. The demon queen of Tartarus and Silatunia's daughter." Celia thought, "Tartarus." Leo thought, as expected, "The power in Albi's left, I must belong to the fairy king." Talatunia, the monster that ruled the cursed forest of creatures. She devoured the fairy king's right hand and destroyed the elven lands. But Luna definitely defeated her. The fairy king's right hand inside her stomach saved her endless life energy, fusing with the ring of life. Abad said, "Indeed, if this monster is the key to the test, I'll be the one to defeat it." Celia said, "Like I'd let you." Both Celia and Abad launched their attacks at the spider. The spider took some damage, but Leo said, "From behind, this monster will just keep resurrecting until our magic is completely drained." Celia asked Leo, "So what do you propose? You two need to cooperate." Abad said, "I refuse. The top spot is mine." Celia said, "It's mine." Leo said, "If we can't conquer this hero's world, which is our task, we're all being disqualified." Abad said, "Even if we join forces, I'll need time to create an attack strong enough to kill it in one blow. Who will hold it off in the meantime?" Leo said, "I'll do it." Celia said, "What? That's suicide. You can't even use aura." Leo said, 5 minutes. That's all I can manage." Abad said, "And if our attack fails after 5 minutes?" Leo picked up the axe of a fallen student and said, "I don't think that will happen. Fire and wind have always been partners. They complement each other well." When Celia and Abad looked at each other, Leo faced the spider, his marks glowing. He said, "This brings back the end." With a single strike, he decapitated one of the spider's legs. "It's been a while," he said. Both Abad and Celia were shocked. With another slash of his axe, the spider's head was smashed open. Leo said, "It's been a while, demon of Tartarus." The scene shifts to a little elven boy with golden hair and green eyes running from a monster. While running, he got caught in a spider web. He shouted, "Please!" But the spider moved toward him to eat him. The boy closed his eyes in fear, remembering his mother. Then someone shouted from behind, "Back off, wild creature!" The little elven boy opened his eyes and saw Luna, the elven mage. Luna shouted, "How dare you disrupt my homeland and devour the right hand of the Covenant Dearer?" She launched a golden spell at the spider, destroying a huge part of the land. The spider was blown into pieces. Then a white-haired man reached the little boy, who was stuck in the spider's web, and asked, "Are you okay?" He removed the web. Meanwhile, Leo thought, as expected, "This is the extent of my power without aura." Chelsea used wind magic to send fallen weapons flying toward him. Leo said to Chelsea, while dodging the spider's attacks, "Send them already." I can catch them myself. Chelsea said, if I do that, you'll get hurt trying to catch them. Leo said, just send them. I can catch them. Chelsea obeyed, throwing 2 weapons. Leo caught both. Have the taste of this, he thought, striking the spider. Both swords broke, but Leo continued. Chelsea threw more weapons toward him. Leo used them again. Chelsea thought, at most, he's around our age, but right now he's like a god of war. Abad said, so you weren't a small fry after all. Leo's face got scratched by the spider's attack. He thought, this sanction is the same as ever. If I can't stop a near insult like this, those guys in the afterlife will surely laugh at me. He grabbed his sword and attacked the spider again. The sword broke. Leo said to Chelsea, next. Chelsea said, that was the last one. Leo was surprised. What? Then Celia said, Leo, I'm ready. Step aside. Celia compressed her mana into an attack and launched it at the spider, shouting, take this monster. The huge fire attack started burning the spider, and a ring dropped from its body. A notification sounded. Albi's World Chapter Prologue. Forest of the Monster has been conquered. The spider was completely burned and dead. Celia said, it's over. She thought, Leo literally held the monster off for 5 minutes. Chelsea, from behind, said, amazing, truly amazing. Chelsea said, you were like a hero from fairy tales. Leo smiled. Chelsea said, yes, I am an aspiring battle mage. I want to improve my close combat skills. Please teach me. Celia thought, Vita's terrifying face. I really hope you get to experience Leo's training at least once. Leo picked the ring from the ground. He thought, so the loot is this ring. Suddenly, a golden light shot out of the ring, and a fairy appeared. Leo thought, Prince Silrid. Elio said, Silrid, do you remember me, Kyle? Silrid smiled and disappeared into the ring. Leo thought, it seems you've safely become the Fairy King. Albi got the Eye of Magic as the reward for finding the treasure. The countdown to return to the testing center begins. 5.4.3. The reward for clearing this stage is the Fairy King's Pact. Then Leo sees a transparent man in front of him. He was surprised. His eyes widened and he said, you. The scene shifts to a bustling city. An old man read the test results. Looks like the Western region exams are over. His face bore many scars. We see his name, Kalina Daydan, headmaster of Lumine Academy. His assistant, dressed in black, said, other regions are still in full swing. The manager said, it's Professor Albi. How many students passed this year? The old man said, for Albi, quite a few, about 40 people. The assistant bowed in defeat. Is that all? The old man cheerfully said, don't be too desperate. I only expected about 10 people. The professor's assistant asked, who took the first spot? Celia or Abad? The professor said, I heard it was impossible to determine a clear winner, but there is a candidate for the new student representative. Assistant Professor Albi recommended them. Who is it? Celia Zadiger or Abad Llewellyn? The professor said, it's a name I'm hearing for the first time. The scene shifts back to the exam hall. Eliminated students were shouting, some for Celia, some for Abad. We see the exam conductor Albi watching Leo from his screen. Then an announcement rang. I recommend Leo Plav as the freshman representative. The reason is, then we see the old professor saying, from Albi to speak so highly. I'm curious to see what kind of student he is. The announcement rang again, he is a hero in the making. Then the scene shifts to Leo's mansion. Leo said, there's a certain satisfaction in slow recovery from such pain. All right. Leo was taking a bath in a hot pool. As he settled in, he thought about the reward. The reward for the clearing is the Fairy King's Pact. Even if one conquers the exciting world of heroes, no rewards are usually given, yet it was given only to him. Then Leo wondered, what on earth could it have been? Suddenly, Leo saw his mother in front of him. He asked, Mother? Lu's mother looked at him and said, Leo, do you know how your mother was expelled from the Zardinger family? Leo was shocked. His mother continued, I lost the flame of Zerdinger while trying to save a former comrade. However, I never once regretted that decision. Leo looked down. His mother continued, Leo, use your talent and strength righteously, and congratulations on being accepted to Lemurn Academy. The scene shifts to a portal. An announcement was made. Attention passengers, we have arrived at Lemuria City. Please check all personal belongings and disembark at the gate. Leo stepped out and looked at the city. Lemuria, the center of the world, he thought. That's the Lemurn Academy. GS walked towards Leo. Leo noticed and said, Uncle? GS replied, Congratulations on passing the Lemurn exam. Thank you, Leo said. What brings you here? GS explained, Well, there have been constant family meetings for the past month. You know why, right? A verdict is being reached on the succession of the Phoenix building. Since your mother left the family, you're still my sister's son. The elders also highly valued the fact that you passed the notorious Western test. GS handed Leo a key. This is the key to the subspace. Leo took the key in his hand and examined it carefully. Open it, GS said. Leo opened it. There was a book inside. The book opened directly with a shining light. Leo closed one eye but continued to look at the book. Drop your blood here, GS said. Leo bit his hand and let his blood drop onto the book. It shined with an even more dazzling light. From now on, only you can read this book, GS said. The process of mastering the secrets of the Zerdinger family won't be easy, but I have a feeling you'll grasp it quickly, he added, patting Leo's shoulder. Congratulations on becoming a member of the Zerdinger family. Next, we see Leo in front of a building. This is the place I promised to meet with Celia, he said. Suddenly, a girl bumped into him. She was carrying many books which fell to the ground. Sorry, I was looking ahead, she said. She quickly picked up the books and left. Leo noticed her identity card had fallen and picked it up. It read, Chloe Mueller, new student, Lemurn Academy. Then a door opened behind Leo. Celia came out and said, Why are you so late? Your uniform and major tax are broken. There are tons of things to buy. Sorry, Leo said. I had to meet Uncle GS. Celia asked excitedly, So, how did it turn out? Leo flicked his hand. A golden light shot from his hand, and fire burned all around. Leo, is this what it feels like? Celia was shocked. No way, she thought. Took me 3 weeks just to get started. But Leo, what on earth are you? The scene shifts to a big ship on the water. Leo and Celia were looking at it. Many students around them said, Here comes the ship. Wow, it's huge. A man stepped forward. Hello, freshmen. I am Professor Ein Elendu of Lemurn, and I teach the first-year knighthood classes. From now on, we will move to Lemurn. Everyone, get on the boat. Then we see Professor Ein Elendu's full title, Knight of the Frozen Sea, Professor of Lemurn Academy. Everyone got on the ship, and the ship's gates were sealed. Professor Ein was drinking at the side of the ship. Leo and Celia looked around the deck. Some students said, Hold on, the couple over there. Can we have a word? Celia flew into rage. What couple? A student with orange hair introduced himself. My name is Carl Thomas Ion, from the Kingdom of Moira. Then we see his full name, Carl Thomas, 15-year-old alchemist. He introduced his shop, from weapons to poisons. Welcome to Carl's shop. Feel free to use my shop anytime you need something during your academy life. Leo thought, what an interesting guy. Leo said, Nice to meet you. My name is Leo Plav, and I come from the Kingdom of Belarus. The orange-haired boy replied, It's the Kingdom of Del Road, right? You must be amazing for passing the Western test. Leo asked, Am I the only one who finds this situation strange? What? The orange-haired boy asked. Leo said, It's so peaceful. It's a bit suspicious. Celia smirked. Freshmen who conquered the entrance exam get this kind of special treatment. It's only natural, don't you think? Leo looked at the professor who was drinking and watching the spire. We won't make students sweat before the entrance ceremony. Would we? Suddenly, the ground started trembling. It seems like they might, Leo said. A huge octopus tentacle shot out of the sea and hit the ship near where the orange-haired boy was standing. He dodged in a hurry. What is this? Students panicked. Professor Ein, please help. Help? Your students are hero candidates of Lemurn, and when in crisis, first try to overcome it on your own, the professor said calmly. The octopus shot out fully. Leo began cutting the tentacles that came toward him. Stay calm, Celia, he said. Celia yelled. Mind your own business. Leo explained. It's a Kraken's behavior. It can heat up and shoot water cannons. Water spewed toward Celia, drenching her. She was furious. The octopus grabbed a student with its legs. Beddamn octopus, Leo shouted. Celia, cut the tentacle that's holding the student, the orange-haired boy said. Celia's raw power as the best in the West is undeniable. But who on earth is Leo? A frozen tentacle fell beside him, freezing him with fear. He shouted embarrassedly, Hey, be careful. That's dangerous. Then the same girl who had bumped into Leo earlier appeared. Leo thought, she's definitely the one I met before. The girl used frozen magic, attacking the octopus with icicles. If you're weak, why don't you just stay back? She said to Leo. The orange-haired boy commented, Seriously. Strong people never think about the damage they cause around them. Another tentacle fell in front of him and slammed to the ground. Chelsea and Abad, a brother-sister duo, appeared too. Abad said, The competition isn't over yet. Chelsea nodded. I feel the same way. Janvi looked at Leo with a slight blush, smiling faintly. Professor Ein observed from the ship. The lake leading to Lemurn Academy is teeming with monsters. Someone exclaimed, A Kraken, Professor Ein said. What a perfect warm-up. He thought, as expected, the top performers stand out. We saw the top performers. Chan Shao of the East, Celia Zerdinger of the West, Abad Llewellyn, Chloe Mueller of the North, Warden Tyden of the South, Duran Moira of the Central Region. The professor thought, this year's batch of freshmen seems promising. He drank a glass in one swipe and added, but the one who stands out the most, that unknown freshman. Leo fought the Kraken. The professor thought, flawless swordsmanship, smooth movement. It's like he can predict the Kraken's every move. He marked the observation, we'll see each other soon in knighthood class. The ship reached Lemurn Academy. All the students were exhausted. The orange-haired boy said, I didn't expect to burn through all my potions this quickly. The professor walked down from the ship. Crossing this lake will soon become second nature. It's a battle to get used to it now. Let's head straight to the entrance ceremony hall. Inside Lemurn Academy, we saw the erect training ground. A student said, See, I told you there wouldn't be many capable ones. Another replied, I hope this year's group keeps things interesting. The announcement rang, The entrance ceremony will begin now. The professor said, Line up by region. Top freshmen, stand at the front of each row. When the announcement ended, the principal spoke. Once again this year, we welcome aspiring heroes. I'll keep this brief. If you dream to become a hero, always bet on yourself. Push past your limits. He slammed his hand on a bench. Those who can't are not needed at Lemurn. The bench broke into pieces. The principal faced the other teachers, innocent-faced. Was that too much? He asked. The inspectors thought, the longer I work here, the more the myth of the sword saint crumbles before my eyes. The announcement continued. Next, we'll have the freshman representative. Everyone looked at the stage. The announcer called, Leo Plav, come to the stage. Leo thought, is this a recommendation from a supervisor? I'll be smiled at him. Leo stepped onto the stage and opened the black book. Honored professors and senior students, he began. The audience thought, I've never heard of him. Isn't the freshman representative usually one of the top students? A student noticed his calm gaze. Gunleo closed the book. This is Leo, the freshman representative, he said. The announcer said, Very well, Leo. As the freshman representative, please share a few words about your aspirations. Leo thought, Isn't this a subtle jab at those who weren't chosen? He said, Greetings. I am Leo Plav, your freshman representative. This year's freshman seemed calm and composed. The professors observed, noting how smooth everything seemed. Leo announced, If you want this position, come and take it. Everyone was shocked. Then Leo asked, Any one of you? The sun was setting over Lemurn Academy. A professor said to the students, Well done today, everyone. Starting tomorrow, there will be temporary classes for 1 week. During this, you can attend any classes you like, regardless of your intended major. Afterward, you'll choose 3 subjects to specialize in. Get plenty of rest and don't be late for class. We see Leo Plav in room 302. The orange-haired boy knocked. Leo, we're next-door neighbors. I'm really looking forward to tomorrow. Sleep well. Okay. See you in the morning, Leo replied. Leo jumped onto his bed, closed his eyes, and thought, What am I hoping to do at Lemurn Academy? To find my hero records? They must be here somewhere. Students gathered in the lunchroom. The orange-haired boy said, Leo, let's eat together. Leo agreed, though slightly annoyed. Someone called out, Freshman representative. Leo asked, disinterestedly, Who? A yellow-haired boy approached. Did you really mean what you said during yesterday's speech? The top student of the central exam, Duran Moira, glared at him. Leo thought, It seems my words from yesterday were quite proactive. For a newcomer to pick a fight. Duran was angry. Don't tell me you don't know who I am. I'm the top student of the central region. Leo ignored him. Duran grew angrier. The orange-haired boy watched cautiously. Duran kicked both of their food plates, but Leo stood up, catching all the food midair, preventing it from falling. A message appeared on a screen, making a burger with the finest ingredients, Burger Cutler Double Burger. Leo said, You shouldn't waste precious food carelessly. Duran became even angrier. I'll take that smug look off your face right now. The professor landed his hand on both their shoulders. His voice was chilling. Let's see. One of you is the top student of the central region, and the other is the freshman representative. Leo and Duran's fight moved so fast. The professor said, Starting a fight on your first day at Lemurn? I guess you've already made up your mind. Scene shifts to temporary classes for the Department of Night Studies. The professor stood in front of the students. One asked, Professor, is it time for class to start? Celia thought, Where's Leo? Why isn't he here? A hand grabbed the door. Leo and Duran entered. Celia asked, Leo, what happened? Did you get into a fight? Leo replied, Well, the professor said, Now that everyone is here, let's begin the temporary class. Welcome, freshmen. I am Amalengu, your instructor for the first-year knighthood course. Duran looked at Leo. The orange-haired boy thought, Oh, they're already starting a full-on mental battle. Today, the professor said, We'll discuss the 3 powers deriving from aura, magic power, spiritual power, and aura. Aura is the hardest. He asked, Can anyone tell me why? Celia answered, Aura loses the fluidity of mana during its transformation process. Correct, the professor said. Unlike magic and spiritual power, which utilize mana in its raw form, aura undergoes a refining process to synthesize with the physical body. He held up his hand. Now, can anyone explain how we use aura stored in our bodies? The professor's body was covered with aura. Celia thought, Isn't it just something you unleash when you exert force? Leo thought, We harness aura by burning mana. Exactly, the professor said. Does anyone know the most critical factor in burning aura? It's physical strength, someone replied. Impressive, the professor said. Leo Plav, have you studied the signs of aura? No, I haven't, Leo said. The professor thought, Someone who hasn't even formally studied aura already understands its principles. All right, enough theory. Let's move on to some hands-on practice, the professor said. He demonstrated an aura technique, focusing aura into the legs to amplify speed and agility. Its potential applications were vast and limitless. Time passed. Some students struggled. Some hadn't even started. Celia said, "Call me Nona, and I'll teach you how." Leo said, "That's enough. The principle of aura manipulation isn't that complicated." The professor noticed Duran biting his thumb. He smirked. The orange-haired boy stood beside Celia. "Oh, it was wild," he said. Celia, shocked, asked, "What?" The professor said, "Duran, Leo, step forward." "Bureau, what's fueling your anger?" "I'm not angry," Duran said. "Stand on the track," the professor instructed. Duran, top student of the Central Region, and Leo Plav, freshman representative. Let the one-on-one race for the position of class representative begin. For this match, you may use aura without any restriction. Duran was shocked. The orange-haired boy became the commentator. From a heroic lineage of the Golden Moira Principality, the master of lightning aura, Duran Moira versus the dark horse from the outskirts, a mysterious figure who rose above the top student to claim the title of freshman representative, Leo Plav. When I saw him speaking to Celia Zerdinger earlier, the boy thought, he looked like he couldn't even pull off an aura stab. I didn't like him from the beginning. Becoming the central regent of students isn't a feat just anyone can achieve. Meanwhile, this so-called freshman representative hasn't done anything to justify his position, he added. The professor said, regardless of the outcome, the essence of chivalry is this: the first to cross the line wins. "Ready, go," the professor said. Celia thought, there's no way Leo can win. And yet that kid always finds a way to defy the odds. Duran took the lead. Guys, if you liking the story and want the next part, please subscribe the channel and like the video. Till then, have a good time.